Ever heard someone say Bitcoin is digital gold and secretly thought, okay, but what does that actually mean? Or maybe you've seen headlines about billion-dollar companies stacking Bitcoin and wondered, why are so many smart people betting on something I can't even hold in my hand? Today, we're breaking down what Bitcoin is, who created it, when it started, how it works, and why it matters right now in 2025. All in plain English, no jargon, no hype, just clarity. And a quick reminder, this is not financial advice. So, why the sudden urgency? Why is this so important in 2025? Well, the crazy part is, right now, more people than ever are using, saving, or building on Bitcoin. Governments are debating it. Major companies are holding it on their balance sheets. Some countries have even adopted it as legal tender. So, what's going on? It's because for the first time in human history, we have a form of money that doesn't depend on a government, a bank, or any middleman to work. Think of it like the invention of the internet, but for value. Just like the internet made information unstoppable, Bitcoin allows value, money, to move across the globe without needing anyone's permission. And whether you're a fan or a skeptic, it is fundamentally shaping how the next generation thinks about saving, sending, and storing their wealth. Okay, but let's get to the core of it. So, what is this thing? At its heart, Bitcoin is digital money, secured by a massive global network of computers. There's no single company that runs it. There's no CEO you can call. There is no shutdown button. The best way to picture it is like a giant shared spreadsheet. Imagine the spreadsheet lists every single transaction ever made. Everyone in the world can have a copy. You can see all the transactions, but because it's locked by advanced mathematics, cryptography, nobody can secretly go in and edit a number. You can't fake a transaction, and you can't spend the same money twice. If you think about it, dollars are like physical cash you can hold. Credit cards are basically IOUs from a bank. Bitcoin is different. It's more like math-backed money. It operates on a set of strict rules written in code, rules that no single person or group can change on a whim. So, who came up with this idea? This is where the story gets fascinating. Bitcoin was created by a mysterious person, or maybe even a group of people, who went by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Back in 2008, right as the global financial crisis was shaking the world's trust in banks, Satoshi published a 9-page document online. This was the famous Bitcoin whitepaper. The timing was everything. It was like someone watched the entire financial system crack and said, hey, here's a blueprint for building a new kind of money that doesn't depend on trusting institutions that can fail. And here's the wild part. To this day, nobody knows who Satoshi is. They worked on the project for a couple of years, corresponded with other developers online, and then they just vanished. It's a real-life superhero origin story, except the hero invented a new financial system and then disappeared, leaving it for the world to run. So let's recap. We have a new form of digital money born out of the ashes of a financial crisis. It's built on a transparent, shared ledger that no one can secretly change. And its creator is a complete mystery, having given the invention to the world without a central leader. Bitcoin isn't just a new technology. It's a new idea. It asks us to question what money really is, who should control it, and what becomes possible when value can move as freely as information does on the internet. And understanding that simple idea is the first real step to understanding our changing financial world. Bitcoin officially went live in January 2009 when the first block, the Genesis block, was mined. It didn't start with a bang. There were no Super Bowl ads, no celebrity endorsements. It was just a handful of computer nerds running code on old laptops. There was no price, no hype, and definitely no influencers shouting, "To the moon!" To give you a feel for those early days, listen to this. In 2010, a developer named Gavin Andreessen created the Bitcoin faucet. It was a website that gave away 5 whole Bitcoin to anyone who just clicked a button. No sign up, nothing. He just wanted to give people a free sample to try. It's incredible to think that those free coins, given away so casually, would one day be worth a small fortune. So how does the system even work? Bitcoin runs on something called a blockchain, but let's just imagine a classroom. Every student in the room has their own sheet of paper, and they all write down every single transaction that happens. If one student tries to cheat and change a number, everyone else's notes immediately prove it's a lie. That's Bitcoin, a global network of thousands of computers that all agree on the truth. When you send Bitcoin, the network groups that transaction with others into a block. Each new block is then linked to the one before it, forming a chain you can't rewrite without rewriting the whole history. This creates trust without trusting any single person or company. It's money without a middleman. Okay, so it's a clever, secure system. But why does it have any value? For the same reason gold has value. Scarcity combined with trust and usefulness. First, and most importantly, it's scarce. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin created, ever. No printers can be turned on, no surprise bailouts, no sudden inflation. In a world where traditional money is printed constantly, Bitcoin is like that rare collectible card they promised never to reprint. People trust this scarcity. And beyond that, it's useful. It's borderless, easy to send, and extremely difficult to steal or fake. You can move millions of dollars worth of value across the globe in minutes without asking for anyone's permission. Just try walking through airport security with that much cash. So if you own some of this valuable digital thing, where is it? Where does it live? Here's a crucial point. Your Bitcoin is not stored inside your phone or computer. It doesn't live in an app or on a website. It lives on the Bitcoin network itself, that global ledger we talked about. Your wallet simply holds the special keys that prove you own your Bitcoin and give you the power to spend it. Think of it like a mailbox. The mailbox and the mail inside exist out on the street as part of the public network. Your wallet is just the key to that specific box. If you lose the key, you lose access to the mail. Protect the key, and you protect the Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. From an obscure project for a few computer nerds to a global system of value. It's a network built on mathematical proof, valued for its absolute scarcity, and controlled by nothing more than a private key. Understanding that foundation is the first real step into the world of Bitcoin. When you first step into the world of Bitcoin, it feels like entering a room full of whispers. Stories of secret fortunes, digital ghosts, and a language you don't yet speak. The air is thick with myths, powerful stories that can lead you down the wrong path before you've even taken your first step. Let's clear that air. The first whisper you'll hear is about the cloak of invisibility, the idea that Bitcoin is anonymous, a perfect shadow for secret dealings. But the truth is the complete opposite. It's radically public. Every single transaction, from the very first one to the one that happened a second ago, is recorded on a permanent, shared ledger called the blockchain. It's not a secret diary, it's a billboard in the middle of Times Square. Think of it less like hiding in the shadows and more like using a nickname in a public forum where every single post is saved forever. You have a pseudonym, but your actions are there for all to see. This misunderstanding naturally bleeds into the second great myth, that this is a playground for criminals. This is a story that just won't die. But let's look at the world we already know. The overwhelming majority of illegal activity still happens the old-fashioned way, with cash. And the established, trusted banking system, it gets fined billions of dollars every single year for laundering money. The tool so often painted as the villain, Bitcoin, is actually transparent by design. It's traceable. Every movement leaves a permanent digital footprint, a trail of breadcrumbs that can be followed. So you see past the shadows and the ghost stories, but then you hit a new wall, an intimidating one. The price. A single Bitcoin costs tens of thousands of dollars. It feels like an exclusive club with an impossible barrier to entry. But this is the third and most widespread myth. You do not need to buy a whole Bitcoin. You're not trying to buy a whole bar of gold every time you want to invest. A single Bitcoin is designed to be divided. It can be split into 100 million tiny pieces. These little pieces are called Satoshis. You can buy $10 worth. You can buy $1 worth. The system was built for everyone, not just for those who can afford the whole thing.
Now you've navigated to myths. You know it's public, traceable, and accessible. You go to an online exchange and buy a small amount. And right here, you face the single biggest mistake a newcomer can make. You leave it there, on the exchange. This is like storing your life savings in someone else's locker and just hoping they don't lose the key or go out of business or decide they don't want to give it back. Exchanges are convenient for buying and selling. They are the marketplace. They are not your vault. A core part of understanding this world is learning about self-custody, learning to hold your own keys, to take true possession of what you own. Because that's the real story here, beneath all the noise. It isn't about secret codes or market drama. It's about a fundamental shift in what it means to own something, from asking others to hold your value for you to holding it yourself. It's about knowing without a doubt that what is yours is truly yours.
When I first looked into Bitcoin, I thought it was just internet money for tech people. I saw complicated charts, heard a language full of jargon, and figured it wasn't for me. I didn't realize it was actually a reaction to a broken financial system, a tool designed for anyone who wants real control over their own savings and their own money. I also wish I knew how simple the core idea is once you strip away all that noise. I spent months watching confusing videos when I could have learned the basics, the important stuff, in a single afternoon. And honestly, I wish someone told me not to chase the hype, not to panic sell when the price drops, and not to buy random coins just because a friend said, "Bro, it's the next Bitcoin." Spoiler alert, it never was. The key wasn't to get rich quick, it was to understand the fundamentals. So let's do that. Let's build your foundation. Okay, so what is it? At its core, Bitcoin is digital, math-based money that anyone in the world can use. It was created by a mysterious person or group called Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2008, right in the middle of a global financial crisis. The timing wasn't a coincidence. It officially launched in 2009 with a powerful goal: to build a new kind of money that doesn't rely on banks or governments. Think about it. With traditional money, you need a bank to store it, to send it, and they can freeze your account. With Bitcoin, you are your own bank. So how does it work without a bank? It works through a secure global network called a blockchain. The easiest way to picture a blockchain is as a public digital notebook. Every transaction is a new entry in that notebook. Thousands of computers around the world have a copy of this notebook, and they all work together to verify that every transaction is legitimate. This makes it incredibly secure and transparent. No one can cheat the system, and no single person can shut it down. Now, the big question: why does it have value? It comes down to a few key things. First, it's scarce. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin created. That's it. It's written into the code. Unlike government money, which can be printed endlessly, Bitcoin has a fixed supply, much like digital gold. Second, it's decentralized. No CEO, no company, no government controls it. It's a network that belongs to its users. And third, it's useful. It lets you send value anywhere in the world at any time without needing permission. And here's a critical point that trips people up. You don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a tiny fraction. Thinking you need to buy a whole one is like thinking you need to buy an entire gold bar just to own some gold. You can buy your first dollar's worth. Just learning these basics puts you ahead of 95% of people out there. So let's bring this all together. Fast recap. Bitcoin is digital, math-based money that anyone can use. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008 and launched in 2009 with the goal of building money that doesn't rely on banks. It works through a secure, global network called a blockchain. It has value because it's scarce, decentralized, and useful. You don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin, and learning the basics is your most powerful first step. So, what's your next action? Pick one simple thing. You could learn how a Bitcoin wallet works. That's the app you use to store and send it. Or you could go and buy your first $1 worth, just to see how the process feels. Or you can just keep watching these videos and continue building your foundation of knowledge. Whatever you choose, please remember this is not financial advice. This is education. The goal is to empower you with knowledge so you can make your own informed decisions. If this helped, smash the like button, subscribe to Bitcoin Bytes HQ, and hit the bell. Drop your biggest takeaway below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.